of wit.
Open for the
Ladies and gentlemen, the Alabama Senate will now come to order. Our prayer today will be delivered by Dr. Buddy Champion. Dr. Champion is the pastor of First Baptist Church in Trussville and is the pastor of Senator Shelnut and Representative Garrett.
Let's pray together. Father, as a native of Alabama, I thank you for these men and women, for the impact they've had in my life by their leadership. But Father, we all bow our heads and humble our hearts before your throne today, asking for your wisdom, your guidance. Father, that all that is said and done would bring honor and glory to you, and that your will would be our will. Give us wisdom in that as we conduct your business for the state of Alabama, which in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dr. Champion. Today, the pledge will be led by Navy Williams. Navy's an 8th grader at Jasper Junior High and is paging for Senator Woods.
Attention, salute, pledge.
All right, thank you, Navy. Secretary, call the roll.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Allen, Mr. Barfoot, Mr. Beasley, Mr. Bell, Mr. Butler, Mr. Carnley, Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Milson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 27 senators present, which is a quorum. The Senate is ready to transact business.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
move that we excuse absent senators.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
move that we dispense with the reading of the journal from the previous legislative day and that we adopt said journal.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. Senator Jones.
Mr. President,
Senator
morning.
Jones.
Move for the introduction of bills at any point throughout the day.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President, move that we allow committee reports at any point throughout the day.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, whenever y'all get ready, we'll move on to House messages. We're on introduction of bills, if anyone has any introduction of bills as well.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 310 by Representative Crawford and others, a proposed constitutional amendment regarding Limestone County, is referred to the Committee on Local Legislation. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
All right, I want to recognize some special guests in the gallery. When I call your name, if you could please stand. The guests are Senator Hovey. The Lee County Young Farmers, if y'all could please stand. I'm sorry, not young farmers, the young leaders. So, yeah, welcome to Alabama Senate. Could be farmers. Sorry about that. Welcome to Alabama Senate. Great to have you all today. All right, move on back to House messages.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 331 by Representatives Standridge and Albright, with notice and proof regarding Blount County, is referred to the Committee on Local Legislation. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 111 by Representative Rigsby regarding human cloning is referred to the Judiciary Committee. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 308 by Representative Shirey and others, a proposed constitutional amendment regarding Mobile County, is referred to the Committee on Local Legislation, Mobile County. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 214 by Representatives Lomax and DuBose regarding the Fair Campaign Practices Act is referred to the Committee on County and Municipal Government. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 183 by Representatives DuBose and others regarding public education is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation Education. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 91 by Representative Hill regarding court fees is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation General Fund. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 156 by Representative Lee regarding physician assistants is referred to the Health Care Committee. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
All right, that concludes House messages. I'd like to now recognize some special guests in the gallery. When I call your name, if you could please stand. Thomas Littleton of Helena, father of Paige Seth Littleton, the guest of Senator Weaver. If you could please stand. Welcome to Alabama Senate. And then we also have the guest of Senator Chambliss. When I call your name, Chief Josh Bingham and Assistant Chief Ricky Roberts. If you could please stand. Welcome to the Alabama Senate. Great to have you today. All right, now move on to committee reports. Secretary, call the first committee, please.
From the Committee on Finance and Taxation General Fund, Senate Bill number 57 receives a favorable report with 2 amendments by a vote of 11 ayes and 5 nays. From Finance and Taxation General Fund, Senate Bill number 155 receives a favorable report with 1 amendment by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation General Fund, House Bill number 39 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation General Fund, House Bill number 77 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Finance and Taxation General Fund, House Bill number 104 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From the Committee on Confirmations, Senate Confirmation number 45, appointing Eileen S. Meyer to the Alabama Board of Midwifery, receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate confirm Dr. Eileen Meyer to the State Board of Midwifery using long roll.
All right, you want to use long roll? All right, Secretary, call long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Milson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver.
Aye.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
Thirty-one ayes, 0 nays. Eileen Myers confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmations, Senate Confirmation number 46, appointing Tiffany Martin to the Alabama Board of Midwifery, receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays.
I move that the Senate confirm Tiffany Martin to the State Board of Midwifery using previous roll with no objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
Thirty-one ayes, 0 nays. Tiffany Martin is confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 66, appointing Jennifer Agee to the University of West Alabama Board of Trustees, receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays.
I move that the Senate confirm Jennifer Agee to the University of West Alabama Board of Trustees using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
31 ayes, 0 nays. Jennifer Agee is confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 67, appointing Jerry Gross to the University of West Alabama Board of Trustees, receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays.
Move that the Senate confirm Jerry Gross to the University of West Alabama Board of Trustees using previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
31 ayes, 0 nays. Jerry Gross is confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 68, appointing Edgar Hauser III to the University of West Alabama Board of Trustees, receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays.
Move that the Senate confirm Edgar Hauser III to the University of West Alabama Board of Trustees using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
31 ayes, 0 nays. Edgar Hauser is confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 24, appointing Patricia Sims to the Alabama State Port Authority Board of Directors, receives a favorable report by a vote of 13 ayes and 0 nays.
I move the Senate confirm Patricia Sims to the Alabama Port Authority Board of Directors using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
31 ayes, 0 nays. Patricia Sims is confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation Number 25, appointing Tony Cochran to the Alabama State Port Authority Board of Directors, receives a favorable report by a vote of 13 ayes and 0 nays.
Move the Senate confirm Tony Cochran to the Alabama Port Authority Board of Directors using previous role.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
31 ayes, 0 nays. Tony Cochran's confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation Number 38, appointing Sandy Stimpson to the Alabama State Port Authority Board of Directors, receives a favorable report by a vote of 13 ayes and 0 nays.
Move the Senate confirm Sandy Stimpson to the Alabama Port Authority Board of Directors using previous role.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
31 ayes, 0 nays. Sandy Stimpson's confirmed. Good to see the former mayor get to work. That'll be good. All right, does that conclude confirmations? All right, Secretary called next committee.
From the Committee on State Governmental Affairs, House Bill Number 66 receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays. From State Governmental Affairs, House Bill Number 114 receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays. From State Governmental Affairs, Senate Bill Number 210 receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays. From State Governmental Affairs, Senate Bill Number 228 receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays. From State Governmental Affairs, Senate Bill Number 231 receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays. From State Governmental Affairs, House Bill Number 110 receives a favorable report with 1 amendment by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next committee.
From the Committee on County and Municipal Government, Senate Bill Number 11 receives a favorable report by a vote of 8 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on County and Municipal Government, Senate Bill Number 92 receives a favorable report by a vote of 8 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on County and Municipal Government, Senate Bill Number 164 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 1 nay. From County and Municipal Government, House Bill Number 22 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 1 nay. From County and Municipal Government, House Bill Number 89 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 1 nay. From County and Municipal Government, Senate Bill Number 227 receives a favorable report by a vote of 8 ayes and 1 nay.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next committee.
From Education Policy, House Bill Number 50 receives a favorable report by a vote of 8 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on Education Policy, House Bill Number 78 receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on Education Policy, House Bill Number 225 receives a favorable report by a vote of 8 ayes and 0 nays. From Education Policy, Senate Bill Number 75 receives a favorable report with 1 amendment by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next committee.
From the Committee on Banking and Insurance, Senate Bill number 170 receives a favorable report by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on Banking and Insurance, Senate Bill number 177 receives a favorable report with 2 amendments by a vote of 14 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 abstention. From the Committee on Banking and Insurance, Senate Bill number 208 receives a favorable report by a vote of 12 ayes and 4 nays. From Banking and Insurance, Senate Bill number 215 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Banking and Insurance, House Bill number 27 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From Banking and Insurance, Senate Bill number 219 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on Banking and Insurance, Senate Bill number 247 receives a favorable report by a vote of 16 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next committee. From the Committee on Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, House Bill number 42 receives a favorable report by a vote of 10 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, Senate Bill number 246 receives a favorable report by a vote of 13 ayes and 0 nays. From Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, Senate Bill number 38 receives a favorable report with substitute by a vote of 13 ayes, 1 nay, 1 abstention. From Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, Senate Bill number 194 receives a favorable report by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays. From Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, Senate Bill number 183 receives a favorable report by a vote of 13 ayes and 0 nays. From Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, Senate Bill number 253 receives a favorable report by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays. From Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, Senate Bill number 160 receives a favorable report by a vote of 15 ayes and 0 nays. These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next committee.
From the Committee on Transportation and Energy, Senate Bill number 205 receives a favorable report with 1 amendment by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays. From the Committee on Transportation and Energy, Senate Bill number 222 receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next committee.
From the Committee on Local Legislation, Jefferson County, Senate Bill number 185 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays. From Local Legislation, Jefferson County, House Bill number 144 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays. From Local Legislation, Jefferson County, House Bill number 199 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays. From local legislation, Jefferson County, House Bill number 234 receives a favorable report by a vote of 6 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 abstention.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary Call. Oh, that concludes? All right, that concludes committee reports. Now move on to motions and resolutions. All right, Senator Wagner.
Mr. President, I have a report from the Committee on Rules.
All right, Secretary Reed received the report from the Committee on Rules.
Report from the Committee on Rules, Senate Resolution number 34, Special Order Calendar. Be it resolved by the Senate of the Legislature of Alabama that immediately upon the adoption of this resolution, the following business in the order set forth below shall be the special and paramount order of business for the 10th legislative day, taking precedence over the regular order of business or any pending or unfinished business. On page 24 of the calendar, House Bill number 161 by Representative Sells and Mooney regarding consumer protection. On page 25, House Bill number 41 by Representative Simpson and others regarding crimes and offenses. On page 15, Senate Bill number 59 by Senator Orr regarding higher education. On page 17, Senate Bill number 203 by Senator Figures and others regarding crimes and procedure. On page 26, Senate Bill number 169 by Senators Sessions and Williams regarding crimes and offenses. On page 15, Senate Bill number 62 by Senator Orr regarding the Alabama Charter School Finance Authority. On page 17, Senate Bill number 180 by Senator Barfoot regarding the Board of Pardons and Paroles. On page 8, Senate Bill number 167 by Senator Orr regarding the Alabama Administrative Procedure Act. On page 25, House Bill number 149 by Representative Hill and others regarding the Board of Commissioners of the Alabama State Bar. On page 2, Senate Bill number 78 by Senator Carnley regarding the Board of Examiners of Assisted Living Administrators. On page 3, Senate Bill number 103 by Senator Kelly regarding the Alabama Construction Recruitment Institute. On page 3, Senate Bill number 113 by Senator Elliott regarding the Alabama Behavior Analyst Licensing Board. On page 18, Senate Bill 195 by Senators Smitherman and Coleman regarding descendants' estates. On page 10, Senate Bill number 39 by Senator Gavan regarding the Committee on Reapportionment. On page 10, Senate Bill 40 by Senator Gavan regarding the Contract Review Committee. On page 11, Senate Bill number 86 by Senator Carnley regarding surety bonds and motor fuel assessments. On page 18, House Bill 117 by Representative Hill regarding the County Commission procurement. On page 26, Senate Bill 230 by Senator Gavan regarding campaign contributions.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
move the Senate adopt the report from the Committee on Rules.
All right, Senator Smitherman.
Short roll call.
Mr. President,
You're recognized.
should I be recognized just for
Discussion.
discussion a little bit?
You're recognized.
Just, look like these look like some pretty good bills, Senator. At least I don't see but two on there that might cause a little conversation, and I think one of them that they're having a conversation now. So that's good. If we can just get past those, I think we gonna. Where the senator from? Who can tell me the district number where Winfield is up there? What district that is? Russellville and up in there. What district number? Anybody know? Anybody know what number that is? That district? 6. Yeah, see, we don't supposed to call names, so I had to get the number. Thank you. Yeah, from District 6. He every so often he meets me coming in the door. How we be hustling and getting in here. And the thing that he'll say that, he said, I have a request for the day. And I said, what's that? He said, remember that this is called Tail Light Thursday. And and for the few people don't know, I know you know, but for the few people don't know, that means that let's figure out a way to get through this calendar as efficient as we can. So as you walk out the door, you can see people tail lights going out the parking lot because we through. So I think that we get past those. I think we'll have a tail light Thursday, that we just everybody can kind of go back home, do what they want to do. And, if they're campaigning, they can do that. Or if they have other business that they need to address, they can do that too, Now, one of the things I'm going to tell y'all, be careful because it's cold out there. It's cold out there. And if any moisture comes, we're going to be in trouble, So I just wanted to say that to you.
Senator, I need to get an update on Ramsey Sports from you.
Well,
Tell me what's going on. I haven't heard in a while.
we going through a growth process. Let me say that first. A real serious growth process. When you imagine this, having the number 3 guard in Canada, southern part of it, states and things. And then he leaves to go to a prep school. Okay, so you think you got your guard situation top notch and everything. Then all of a sudden we had a 6'8" center. His dad gets a promotion on his job. They move out of state. So now you've lost your point guard and the center of everything. So now we had to go through a process of having a point guard that's in the 9th grade and another one that's in the 10th grade. And he was on JV last year. So you see what I mean? We went from being tall to the tallest person we have is a small 6'4", and he doesn't start. So we had to grow up. We only have 2 people on the team now that was on varsity last year. On varsity, not started. So you can see what I mean. But now the good thing about it, we have grown to the point where we won our area. We don't have a good record, but we won the area. And so we hosted. So Saturday, if we get past Saturday, I think we can get up to Jacksonville. Yeah. But
No, that'll be good. Senator Figures, need your help at the mic if you could. I think we had a birthday that was yesterday of somebody. Hold on. Senator Stewart, we need you to help lead us in happy birthday. He requested that last night, correct? So,
yeah, come on.
Senator Stewart requested that you sing him happy birthday. I ran into him last night and said it was his birthday, and I said, I think she would do that, so I'm asking.
This hasn't been requested in years. And when I finish, nobody calls me Marilyn Monroe. I am Vivian Davis Figures. I was not prepared for this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I didn't say everybody else sings it. This is my song. He requested me. See, y'all don't sing it like I do, so y'all will mess it up. So, okay. Forgive my improper English. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear my fellow Aquarian brother. Happy birthday to you. And many, many more.
All right, thank you, Senator Figures. All right, Senator Smitherman, back to the calendar.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move for adoption of the calendar and ask unanimous consent to use the previous roll. If that's okay with my rules, Chair.
All right, any objection for adoption of the calendar using previous roll? All right, hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
33 ayes, 0 nays. Special order calendar is adopted. Secretary called the first bill, and thank you, Senator Figures. Great job.
On page 24 of the calendar, House Bill number 161 by Representatives Sells and Mooney regarding consumer protection. BIR pending.
Mr. President,
Senator Chambliss.
move the BIR. Do we have a good roll?
Yes, sir.
Using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods,
33 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary call the bill.
on page 24 of the calendar, House Bill number 161 by Representatives Sells and Mooney regarding consumer protection.
Mr. President.
Senator Chambliss.
Mr. President, what I would like to do is, well, I'll just go ahead and make a motion and then explain the bill, and then my Senate colleague, I think, is out of the room, but he'll be back here shortly. So I'll talk a little bit until he gets back in the room, explain the bill. So with that, I move final passage using the long roll, and I'd like to speak to that motion.
Okay.
All right. This is House Bill 161, and as you all know, we've worked on a couple of bills over the last 5-6 years, actually. So we're here today dealing with the App Store Accountability Act, House Bill 161, and I will mention that it passed the House unanimously. So that is a great indicator that in a bipartisan fashion, we in the legislature, the House especially since they're already on record, support protection of children. That I think we can agree on. We want to all protect our children, to help them grow up and flourish and to be protected until they're at an age that they can actually handle certain things. This is not new in our society. For years and years and years, we've had guardrails or barriers, if you will, to certain physical information for our children to be shielded from that until they mature enough to handle that. And this bill simply tries to put or puts those type barriers or protections over the digital world. And you all know these super computers that we all have in our pockets nowadays. They're the world at our fingertips. We've never had that before until the last, I say, decade or two, but especially now. And there are things that they have access to and things that they are agreeing to through the acceptance of terms and conditions when they download the apps that children should not be a party to. They should not be accepting contracts. And that's what it is. When you download an app, you accept the terms and conditions, you are entering into a contract. So that is one of the major focuses of this bill, is to prevent children from entering into contracts by downloading these apps. Now, I believe, as most people believe as well, that parents are the ones who should have the right to say they can, they can't, they do, they don't, that sort of thing. So with that, Mr. President, I see a colleague who has comments.
Senator Roberts.
Like dialogue for a minute while our colleagues speak.
All right.
We had contract review this morning and had the opportunity to go through a multitude of contracts for our state, 54 today. And it is fascinating to look at different things. One of the things we had was a new tractor trailer for education. And we hit on the fact that we need to have proof that this is working. We're spending another $3 million of state education monies for a tractor trailer to travel around to schools for workforce development. So there'll be some discussion on that with colleagues that wanted to hold that contract as we look at that. So it was a wise use of time to pull this aside, and we're already making progress on that. But this App Store bill that they're discussing right now is an incredible tool that we need to get right. And Representative Sells and Senator Chambliss have worked for 3 years to pull this together. And we're talking about the future generations that are using these computers that are in our pockets. And I wholly support the way the bill as written and appreciate the fortitude that is taken in the groups. Hundreds of people have talked to all of us about this bill.
Real quick, I had a few senators complain they can't hear the discussion, so if y'all could keep it down where the senators could hear. Thank you.
This is a tool that can be used and will be used to protect our children who are currently entering into contracts at whatever age they receive an iPhone. Most of us carry these around in our pockets, and what they do, as we know, is much more complicated than what has guided many of our rockets and spacecraft into and out of space, and we carry this in our back pocket. The horror stories that we are hearing from people all over our state and around the nation. I believe there was just a special that one of the evening broadcasters did talking about the groups that are using these devices to come into children's bedrooms, and it's ruining lives. We have situations already in our own chamber and around the State House, and this is an attempt to help with children entering into contracts that they have no idea what they're doing. So I wholly support this bill, Mr. Chairman, and look forward to us passing this today. I see a colleague across the aisle there.
So I agree with your comments, and I believe as a mother, we should be doing everything we can to protect our children. And one of the greatest concerns I have is all the exposure that they have to social media right now. You know, when we were growing up, we didn't have iPhones, and we didn't have the exposure to such things as they have online now. And just looking at the things that I see on social media, I'm actually horrified that our children are exposed to such things as this at such a young age. So I applaud Senator Chambliss for bringing this bill today and certainly support his efforts in protecting our children.
Yes. I have 10 grandchildren now, and the oldest one just got the first iPhone. 3 of them have watches that have apps on them, and I am most grateful for Senator Chambliss bringing this legislation.
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate your jumping in and helping us through this process. As you know, there's a lot of work that's gone into it behind the scenes, and now not so much behind the scenes. But I think I'll continue with my explanation, and then we will get on to the an amendment that might clarify a couple of things. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you. So let me go through just a few steps of what this bill does. The first thing it does is it protects minors by requiring parental permission. And that's what I was saying earlier, is the parents are the ones that should be making these decisions, should be entering into contracts when they allow a phone to be initialized for their child. And that's what this bill does, is it puts that to the parent, not the child, but to the parent. Somebody of age. And then number 2, it requires the app stores to verify the age. That's very, very important. They pretty much, when they initialize phones, they have the birth date and all that in there anyway. And then the third is it requires accurate app age ratings from the developers. Some will say it's good for age 3 and up, 5 or up, 8 or up, whatever. It just ensures, just like in our movie theater industry, it ensures that they have accurate ratings, PG, R, all that kind of stuff, PG-13. So that's the third thing. And then the fourth thing is it focuses on contract law. And I'm repeating myself, but the child is underage and does not have or need the ability to enter into contracts. That's the parent or legal guardian's responsibility. So that in a nutshell is and I was looking for my Senate colleague. I know he has questions and an amendment. So if Mr. Leader, if you'll find him and tell him I'm ready and have done my explanation if he's ready. So there he is. You ready? And Senator, I know you and I have been working a lot over the last few days on this bill and getting answers and working with lawyers and getting interpretations. Here you go. You can take this one. So as we get ready to talk about these amendments, I'll go ahead and talk about them as he's getting that prepared. The first one deals with page 9 for those who may have the engrossed version. It's dealing with the word act. The section, the chapter title of the code is referenced above, and there was some ambiguity as to whether this act referred to chapter 19 of Title 8 or this act that we're actually dealing with. And the first part of this amendment just clarifies what act means in this case. A fairly simple thing, but very, very important that there's clarity on what that word is referring to, the word being act. Let's see, the other one, the other part of the amendment, it deals with, as many of you know, there are other laws currently on the books dealing with digital type things and digital access, that sort of thing. We passed one last year, the filter bill. And what this, the second part of the amendment says is that nothing in this act, the one that we're debating, shall be construed to relieve any person from compliance with any other law of this state that requires age verification. Very simple, very straightforward, but very, very important. So those are the things in the amendment that we have been working through over the last 24 hours or so especially. So there we are. Again, the app, and you know, some people ask me why are we dealing with this? Why are we talking about this? And it's unfortunate, but we have had numerous situations in our state and others that where children have come across content that their mind was not ready to receive. And it has done, you know, created chaos and created problems in those children's lives. So what we're trying to do is to make it intentional, where the parent has that ability to protect their children in a way that I would assume, and I'm confident of, every parent in this room wants to do as well. So Senator, thanks again for working with me. We've been back and forth a lot, and I appreciate your patience with me and listening and learning and dealing with all the attorneys and everything. So I know I've explained briefly the amendment, but certainly you jump in and say whatever.
Mr. President, I would like to dialogue with the gentleman across.
All right.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Senator Chambliss, for being a statesman on this, because, you know, you've been working on this for 2 or 3 years now. You could have been stubborn about it. You were open. You and I had some great dialogue in my office. I think I had some concerns beyond what we're looking at here. in terms of where we are in terms of really protecting families. You heard me. You went back, you worked through it, you worked with the different groups, came up with these amendments. Everybody's not going to be happy with what we have. I think we have a product that we can put out there to start protecting families and our children. And if we have to come back next year to be able to tighten it up, we can do that.
That's
right. But I think this gives us a product to get out there and work with it to protect our babies. Because I have young daughters.
Right.
And I know that sometimes when I'm looking through these reels, I get very confused with the kind of product that's out there on these platforms. And I think that sometimes more than just the filter, but I think that everybody who is responsible for putting content should be complicit in this in terms of protecting our families. I understand First Amendment rights, people have the right, and people are gonna argue that. But when we're talking about our children, we gotta protect them because they're not protectors of themselves.
That's right.
We already have deemed them underage, that they can't sign for themselves, they can't basically speak for themselves, go into contracts and things like that. It takes us as adults.
That's right.
To oversee that and to be there for them. And you worked through this with me, while I think that even this morning, when there was a line or two that would gut something that we thought that was gonna protect, but we realized that it may have been an unintended consequence. You went back, scratched it out, and made it right. And I applaud you for that, and I appreciate you for that, because you maintain that openness to get this bill done. We want to protect families on this side of the aisle also.
Absolutely.
And we also come from family groups that we know that needs protected. You know, I talked to you about that grandmother who raising those grandchildren by herself, who may not be savvy enough to understand what a filter is.
That's right.
Some of them gonna get tricked. Some of them gonna get tricked. I think that this bill is a protection for maybe 50 to 60% of families in America, because you have a two-household family who's gonna be looking after their children. I think about that single mother who has to go to work in the morning, and that single mother who has to go, who wants to give that child a phone so they can contact them at any time. And, you know, and sometimes these kids may say, no, Mama, we don't need that filter. I don't know why them people want to put that on there. And Mama don't understand what that filter may mean. And some are gonna fall through the cracks. And that's where you and I had the conversation that we want to protect, try to protect 100%.
That's right.
Not just the 50 or 60% of those families who are gonna be concerned and gonna do the right thing anyway.
That's right.
I tell the story all the time. When I started my kids off on iPads, and I started doing, you know, ABC mouse learning with it, so that they can learn through that concept of shapes and things. But I made sure that they couldn't go on platforms like YouTube, and that if they were gonna download something, they had to call their daddy first. My daughters are 16 and 17. They still call their daddy and ask, can they download this app? I'm grateful that I'm able to have that in my life, that we have that communication, because at that age, you know, they're ready to go off and thinking of other things.
So you had the Daddy Accountability Act before Accountability Act.
Exactly. Because I hope they ain't listening, but I tricked them into the fact that I mirror everything that they do. You can't do anything on your phone because I pay for your phone.
Yeah.
I see everything that you do.
Yeah.
So they still call daddy to this day. And I say, if it's anything that you gotta purchase, then call me and let me purchase it for you. Because I don't want you getting hit on the hip that you ain't got no money in your little account, then they're gonna be charging you.
Snowballs.
Snowball, and talking about you decline and you insufficient funds and stuff of that nature. I use this app called Greenlight. Greenlight is an app that allows kids to do money management. I give my kids their allowance through Greenlight. It gives them a credit card in their hand, so whenever they go, they have that independence of card. It's a cash card. But in Greenlight allows me to give them chores for whether or not if they want to earn this money. If they get good grades, you know, I give them extra money on their green light card.
Really? We did the same thing, but I didn't have a digital way of doing it, but same thing.
And so they have that. So daddy may not be all around. Like my daughter's on a field trip right now, and she called me this morning. She said, Dad, I need some money for lunch. I just hit green light, transferred money over to her card so she can go to McDonald's and get her something, okay? And so green light lets me know when they are purchasing something, and I know every purchase that they purchase on their card. And I can see it in mirrors to me.
Because it is your money, right?
It's my money. And it's a great tool teaching kids financial management and how to manage their money. It was introduced to me by Michael Sullivan out there on the hallway, who had started his kids on it.
Yeah.
And so I went and I downloaded it, and it was a great tool for my kids. You know, instead of trying to cash out money where it's going to charge me money to send them money, green light, I pay a fee once a year, maybe $10, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so green light even allows them to be able to invest and to save. I can see if they're saving money that I give them. If I give them $50 a week allowance, I can tell, you know, if they save $20 this time to do so, and I can tell whether or not they invested some money. It gives them some little investments that they can do, all right? And so we talk about those things. And so I try to do my best as a father.
Yeah.
I'm not present in their home every day. I admit I'm not. I'm not married to their mother, but I am not an absent father.
Right. Well, that's what makes this even more important.
Exactly. So I don't have the opportunity to see. So therefore, it's my communication that's important to me between my daughters and I, okay? To make sure that they are getting the nurturing from their father that I want them to get. I see them every week. I see them just about every other day that I can. It's not like, you know, I'm gonna send some child support and that's it. I'm in their life.
Yeah,
I'm at their school. I'm at every event. I'm trying to be wherever they are to do what they do, okay? I want them to know what a man is in their life.
I wish all kids had that.
You know,
really
and so that's what I do. I try to model myself in that fashion. I'm not perfect. Make some mistakes. We have some hard conversations because Dad just don't understand, you know. No, Dad, you just don't understand, you know. Well, you know, I try to be a cool dad, but Dad, you still just don't understand.
You got to be the daddy at the end of the day.
I find myself sometimes out with my daughters and their friends, pile up in my car. I'm over at some bowling alley, but Dad's sitting way over in the corner, back in the back, just minding my business on my phone while they're just having a good time. You know, because I want them to be safe.
Yeah, something happens, you're there.
Dad is there. I want them to be safe. And you know, Clyde, before I go in a building, if I'm taking I go and scope the building out where the bathrooms is, make sure it's not dark down those alleys, the whole 9 yards. I open the door to make sure there's light in. So when my babies go to the bathroom, Dad's standing outside the door. All right? Because I just don't trust a lot of people with my girls. Those are my babies.
Yeah, and you know I had 3 girls.
Those are my babies. And so this bill, you know, and I'm glad you're bringing this bill. You know, you and I have talked about this bill over the past 2 or 3 years. And I know that people like Apple, Meta, and all of the big guys out there, to them, at the end of the day, it's about data. What they can get to continue to run these platforms on, how they run these platforms. And you and I grew up in a different era, but our children are growing up in this era. This is their life.
That's right. They don't know anything different.
They don't know. I dial a rotary phone. I heard a dial tone.
That's right.
I still have an old rotary phone on my wall at my house, right? And I can remember the first time when my daughters were growing up, I put to their ear and they heard that boo. It freaked them out. They'd never heard a dial tone before. I gave them a number and asked them to dial it, and she was lost. She didn't know how to call her grandmama by using that rotary phone. You know, but that's a difference in what they grew up and where we grow up.
That's right.
And they have much more vice in their lives that influences them than you and I. That's right. I can remember when I was growing up, I didn't see my friends after the weekend until we came back, or the summer. Sometime I wouldn't even see them over the summer until we came back to school.
Yeah.
Times have changed now. Kids are even playing games with each other in different states, roadblocks and things of that nature
On the
in
other
other
side of the
states.
world.
And so we acknowledge that here as a legislature that we have to keep up with the times. And while we want technology to flourish, we also have to build in those consumer protections and those protections for our children and for our families. And so I have an amendment here today that I think that you see as a friendly amendment.
That's right, it is. It's a friendly amendment.
And I'm sorry. Could you just talk for a second?
Yes, sir.
Let me get some clarification here before I introduce
Sir,
you.
yes,
okay?
sir. So I appreciate the senator. He's worked with me, as he mentioned, as we talked about, especially over the last 48 hours or so, but really a lot over the last few years. You know, the bill, it talks a lot about the different things and has a lot of technical information on it, or in it. But just in an overview, kind of what I was talking about before, but also on this, Senator, I see you have a comment?
I do. Am I recognized? Thank you so much. I just wanted to come up and commend the gentleman on the work that you've been doing to protect children.
Thank you, ma'am.
This particular bill, I have a few little questions about, but I did want to just talk about something you and I worked together on. Was it last year or year before when we did our Boy Scouts bill?
Year before, I think.
Year before, I think, yeah. My years are coming together now, and you and I collectively wanted to do something for those survivors of child sex assault, and to make sure that they had the opportunity to take advantage of, if they so chose to, that the Boy Scout Settlement Trust Fund.
Right, that was already in place.
Already in place, and all of these members here voted to help and support those survivors. And so just wanted to take a moment to thank you for the work that you've been doing thus far. We have a bill coming up next where we're going to talk a little bit more about that, and I'm hoping that you, especially with the support that you've given to the survivors of the Boy Scouts, will also lend that same type of support to a bill that I've had now for several years to make sure these other survivors have some level of recourse. And I've had that bill for a few years now, but just again, in this time that I have, I just wanted to make sure that the public understood how much you have truly worked to protect children in the state of Alabama. Again, so we worked together last year and 2 years ago now, and to see those survivors, we did a bill signing actually with the governor's office, and to see grown men cry, thank us for just taking on that issue, championing that issue, to also highlight how these young men, the things that they had to endure, and colleagues had to hear some things that were uncomfortable, but to just make sure that they had that opportunity to, if not on the criminal end, with this trust fund, they had the opportunity to have some civil recourse. And so we have another bill that we've had for several years now, been working on to make sure that we can open that up to other survivors as well. So I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get the next bill up. But again, if we want to protect children, we want to protect children in all aspects. Even folks who are stuck in the age that they were, they're adults now, but because of what an adult did to them, the way that they were victimized, they're still stuck there, and they haven't had an opportunity to have some level of recourse.
And even those that are stuck, but through no fault of anybody.
Absolutely.
We got a bill that we're working on with that as well right now.
Yeah.
That had a little hiccup yesterday, but we'll work through that and get through it.
Good, 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 good. Is that my driver's license? That's the car tag bill.
That's right.
Yeah, but that was also too an example to me of good committee work. Coleman Madison has been talking about. We've been doing some pretty good committee work this year, and now it looks like we are going to be able to help those folks through the other process that was talked about yesterday to make sure that we do have these car tags that identify invisible disabilities. So somebody asked me coming down the hallway today, they said, you had a good day yesterday. You had 4 bills on the calendar yesterday. And I said, I did. I had, I think that's the first time that has ever happened to me in 20 plus years to have, when I was in the majority party and now in the minority party.
Welcome to the
have
Senate.
4 of
Welcome
them
to the Senate.
in the same day. So yesterday was a lot, but we did some good work. So 3 did pass, one out of the House committee downstairs. That was my companion bill to our driver's license bill for invisible disabilities. And then I had 2 other to pass, and Fred, but our car tag, we're gonna get that done. The senator also, that is, I think she is championing the next bill, 41 as well.
Excellent.
We had an opportunity to talk yesterday about another process that doesn't have to be a process through the legislature, that we can get those tags and save some lives and make sure that law enforcement are able to identify folks that have invisible disabilities. So again, kinds of legislation that, and you and I were the only 2 sponsors on that one. And thank you for that day that we got a chance to kind of chat about your passion as well for helping these folks that deserve, the best quality of life and all of the opportunities. And so thank you for that. This bill that's up now, my challenge with this one though is, I don't know, I'm gonna support it, I'm voting for it, but I just had some questions about like the automatic turn off versus, and who's gonna be, if it's not turned off, where the recourse come from. I had to look some questions there, but I am definitely going to support you.
Senator, the good thing about this bill is we're putting time in there for everybody to know what the bill says, do what they need to do, and that is January of 2027.
And that really does give time. We have too many pieces. Thank you for that. Too many pieces of legislation that we want to start at October 1, and it doesn't give people enough time to kind of get all the information that they need and do the thing. So January 1 is a much better. And I heard the senator talk earlier too about your willingness to talk through, take amendments, take things to make the bill, we hope, better for everybody involved. And again, that's how the sausage is made here. And to me, that is the best way to pass legislation, when you have kind of more thought processes involved, because I might not think about a particular issue, and then you come back and you give me a scenario and I'm like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. And so we end up getting the opportunity to have a better bill. So again, just wanted to take that time to thank you. I hope we get a chance to work on my other bill. And because I'm talking about it, I cannot think of the bill number for this year, because I've had it like 5 years. That again will give some recourse to the survivors of child sex assault who are adults now. And if they choose to go after folks civilly, if we can have some level of revival period, like all of these other states in the country, that we can do that. And at the very least this session, I hope we'll get an opportunity to put together some type of study commission that looks at Alabama-specific numbers about how many people this would impact, just like we had those numbers for our Boy Scouts.
Right.
And we were able to know and identify them, when they came to that bill sign, and it was just amazing to see those men stand there with us, and then we've done something. A lot of times, when we pass legislation, you don't get a chance to see the direct impact right away, but we were able to look in their eyes and know that we've done something good. So I think are we ready now for our amendment? Okay, all right. So, Ms. President, I believe one of my other colleagues has some comments he would like to make before our final vote.
Thank,
All right.
thank you,
Thank
Senator.
you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Smithman?
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator, of course, you know, I had concerns naturally. I know you know that from last session, session before that.
That's right.
About the generality of how it was being applied. I do appreciate you doing it. Let me back out and say this. Sometimes as legislators, we are so hard working for so many other situations and issues that sometimes we have some unique things locally that we don't quite get the time to address because we're trying to help so many other people, especially in positions. And you happen to fall in one of those positions, being the majority whip. You know, now having been able to, in this tenure here at the Senate, to serve 8 years as the majority whip, and the body so saw fit to appoint me as the minority whip now, I understand what you, with that. Now, probably the most difficult thing for you at this moment, because this is your bill. You're not trying to work.
Not trying to
through
help somebody else.
You know, we had that kind of mold, you know, but now when you kind of get to yourself, you have to kind of take a little different posture, you know, and address it. And I want to say that I want to compliment you on addressing one of the areas that concern me, and that was simply this: all the way up and down, I call the food chain, all the way up and down the food chain, from the people at the bottom of this process to the people at the end, that we're trying to make sure that the issue of these apps and our young people are addressed in such a manner that it won't be prevalent to them to be able to readily do what they want to do. You know, and I agree 100% with that concept, because if parents are going to be held responsible for children until they get to be age 19, then we've got to give them the tools
That's right.
to be able to be parents, you know, and then at that point, then the implementation shifts. But so, and that's what I think that your ultimate goal is in this bill, is trying to do that. It's just, as I said earlier, all the way up and down the chain, I wanted each and every person in that chain to have a certain amount of responsibility, and not one not having any at all and everybody else having. And it's kind of like anything else. You know, it's like a chain. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
That's right.
And so I appreciate you giving some attention to that concern that we had. I want to just say that to you, you know, and yes, it's one, you know, we always can think of ways we can even make it better. But I do intend to support your bill.
Thank you, sir. And I appreciate you working with me. We've been back and forth, and think we got it. 2 or 3 years from now, there'll be something different. We'll work on it again.
That's the way it goes. You know, life, not just life, but times change in the evolution. You know, when I first got here, this wasn't the issue.
That's right.
Yeah, this kind of stuff wasn't even an issue when I first walked up in this place, so that you can see the variation of issues, how they change as time. And I want to compliment many of us in here when it comes to these kind of issues. Then we do have the ability to do what my kids always say about me, and I like that. I just want you to know what I'm getting ready to say when they said it about me. They said, "Daddy, one thing about you, you are a Renaissance man. You know, you kind of understand when times and things change, and you have to kind of adjust and look into it, how you try to do what you're doing, and to address issues like this says that in this particular issue, we have some people who fall in that category in this whole body. And that's a good thing.
It is.
You know, it's a good thing. So I just wanted to share that with you and just tell you I appreciate that. And you know, I look forward to going forward with this bill.
Well, thank you, Senator. I appreciate you. Appreciate working together with you.
All right, thank you. And at this time, Mr. President, I'm going to yield to Senator Singleton.
All right. Senator Singleton.
Yes, Mr. President. Thank you again. We were just trying to work out some last minute things, and there was two things I just asked you, and I'm just going to make an appeal. You want to trade one for the other? Can I get one and you get one of the two? I would love to have the.
Senator, I think we had the car sold. We don't need to change the
I
terms
understand.
now.
I would love to have the date pushed back to give the opportunity for, I'm learning this used car dealsman language from our pro tem. He don't ever quit trading until it's all over with, we was talking about in that amendment, person versus developer, date pushed back to change. I do understand when you talk person to developer, we passed the bill previous, you feel that it guts that bill and take it away.
That's right.
But do we see any harm in being able to give what we're talking about something massive? Because what they're going to do is not just probably for Alabama. It's going to have to be, because it's not like some little button they can push for Alabama. I think the button pushed for everybody around the world. And it gives them that opportunity to be able to work things out, get it back, and to be able to push back a date.
Senator, if we were the first state, that request would be reasonable.
Okay.
But we're not the first state.
So you think
This has been
everybody's on
going
the same
for
timeline?
Years.
You think everybody else that have gotten this is on that same timeline?
Personally, I think they can flip a switch tomorrow and do what this bill says. They've already developed it. It's already there.
Well, I don't know.
But we still want to give them time.
Again, it's $1 trillion company, and I don't know what it takes. I don't, I know I can look at the numbers in $1 trillion and I can go 1, 10, 100,000, million, 6 trillion, $250 billion, and get to those numbers, right? But I can't even imagine what $1 trillion company has to do. They should have all the experts that's necessary. That's why they're $1 trillion company.
So maybe this room full of $1,000 bills, would that be $1 trillion? I don't know.
No, no.
Whole room?
You probably gonna get the new State House and this one in the old Capitol, and then all of the RSA buildings too.
We might start getting close.
Right. And I'm just asking for that, and if not, I want to introduce the amendment.
I would say let's stick with the amendment, and let's get this thing through. And if there's something that comes up, we got plenty of time in this session. If there's something comes up, we can revisit the date. But let's leave the date where it is right now.
All right, Mr. President, I would like to offer an amendment.
All right, before we do that amendment, let me recognize some special guests in the gallery, if you don't care. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, there's a guest of Senator Hovey. I got several guests. When I call your name, if you could please stand. The Auburn City School Superintendent, Dr. Kristen Herring. Let's see, Mr. Casey Davis, Tallapoosa County School Superintendent, and Miss Diane Miller, Principal at Dadeville Elementary. If y'all could please stand. Welcome to Alabama Senate. Great to have you today. All right, Secretary Reed, receive the amendment, please.
Amendment to House Bill number 161 by Senator Singleton. Replace line 245 on page 9 with the following. Replace line 326 on page 12 with the following.
All right.
So you and I are in agreement that the first part of this amendment is just exclusive to the Trade Act, right? Which then gives the Attorney General the only right to action under this act.
That's correct.
If these deceptive trade acts policy for age verification or something is violated, only the Attorney General, not another private right to action, can come.
Gives them exclusivity.
Give them exclusivity based on this act.
That's right.
This act alone. The second part of it says that nothing in this act shall be construed to relieve any person from compliance with any other law of the state that requires age verification. And this act shall become effective January, is it in the act is January 1, 27?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in the second part of the act, is where you were able to take out some language to satisfy what we call an unintended consequence that could have been there.
That's right.
And so with that, Mr. President, I would like to ask for the adoption of the amendment, use the previous roll, or do you want to call roll?
Previous roll's good.
Y'all want previous roll or long roll on this? Long roll on the amendment? They want a long roll. But he asked for a long roll.
I encourage aye.
Call a long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss.
Aye.
Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Milson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shillnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
All right, 32 ayes, 3 nays. The Senator Singleton amendment's adopted. Thanks, Senator
Thank you,
Singleton.
Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Sponsor.
Thank you, Senator.
All right,
Appreciate
Senator
working
Chambliss.
with you. Mr. President, with that, I make a motion for final passage using the long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss.
Aye.
Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shellnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
$35 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 161 passes. Thanks, Senator Chambliss.
Mr. President, Can I have a brief point of personal privilege?
You're recognized.
Mr. President, senators, colleagues, thank you all for working with me through this process. I don't know if Representative Sells is up here, but he has been a stalwart and working through this issue with me over the last few days, last few years, and he has done a lot of work on this bill as well. And I thank you all for colleagues on both sides of the aisle who's come to us with suggestions, ideas, thoughts to make the bill better. And I'm just pleased that we've ended up in a place that protection of our children is important to all of us, and it's evidenced by the passage of this bill. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, Senator Chambliss and Representative Sells. Good to have you in the Alabama Senate. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 25 of the calendar, House Bill number 41 by Representative Simpson and others regarding crimes and offenses. BR pending.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a move to approve the BIR using previous role.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Strawbritton. Mr. Woods.
35 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 25 of the calendar, House Bill number 41 by Representative Simpson and others regarding crimes and offenses.
Senator Weaver.
Thank you, sir. Today, I bring the Child Predator Death Penalty Act to this body, and I have been working with Representative Simpson since last year. I have the Senate companion bill for this Child Predator Death Penalty Act. And as many of you know, I'm bringing this bill as a result of an unimaginable situation that happened in my district last year. Last July, the Bibb County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of 7 people in connection with an underground bunker child sex trafficking ring, where as many as 10 child victims were raped and tortured, some over many years, and one of those victims was as young as 3 years old. I believe extreme child sexual abuses like this deserve the death penalty. Crimes against our precious children are the worst of the worst offenses and deserve the worst of the worst punishments. And with that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
All right, Senator Smitherman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator, let me first say this, is that I understand, I can feel and I can appreciate your efforts in addressing this concern and this situation that happened. I think that you had one of, I won't say the first time something happened. I don't know about history of our state, but of first impression of a situation that took place in your community. Let me say it that way. I know it's your district, but I'll say your community. And and it was so horrendous that it was unconscionable to think that anybody would do something like that. Now, having said that, and I'm gonna pre-announce what I'm gonna do before I say what I'm gonna say, okay? I am going to vote for your bill. I'm going to vote for this bill on the positive side of my statement first, is the fact that this bill raises that crime up to a Class A felony. And as such, I agree wholeheartedly that the highest level of where we have our crime set, that for a person that will torture someone, that will keep them confined, that will allow other adults to abuse them, I think that this should take place. It should be a crime of that level. The vote, however, is not an endorsement by me of the death penalty itself. In Class A, the death penalty is one of the options. And as such, this option will be available to the jury if this person is found guilty. Because that is already our law, and because this bill was not designed and it's not anywhere I read in here that it would address that particular issue, because what I see it as addressing is the issue of the abuse to these children and what should happen to people, okay? However, I think that it should be a Class A under a situation where if the death penalty was not there, because then life without parole would be an option that would be available. And anybody that would do what happened in this situation, we should not be subject to them in society, that we have to have fear that at some point in time, that person then, well, it's 15 years, and then after 15 years, here they are standing right out there again. I think that even under the scenario where I'm not necessarily looking at it from the aspect of the death penalty, life without parole would mean that they would never be out here with us again. And as such, it's only available under the charges of Class A felony. So I want to first say that to you, that I think that it was very good that you decided to address this issue. I think that this sends a message, okay? I think it sends a message. Now, having said that, I've been in the legislature for some time. I hate to say what I'm gonna say because of the time that I've been in here. I will assure. Senator, I will assure the senator that just talking to you that I'm not here for a filibuster or anything. So you can tell him that so he can relax, because he think he got time to go downstairs, but tell him he don't have time to go down there. Tell him you don't have time to go down there. I'm gonna be through in just a minute. So you just stay up. You see there, you're gonna miss your vote. But what I was getting ready to say is that it's either 5 or 6 times that we've had legislation in here, and it was from the immigration bill, it was from when we wanted to have a different tax on the waste, the nuclear waste that was going to email and coming from out of state to interstate. It was where we decided that we were going to treat imported wines different from the wines that was in the state. You read them calling all that. I told the body at that time that what was going to happen is that those bills were going to be declared unconstitutional. I explained why and everything else. Even though they were great bills, I knew the intent. But once it's challenged in the court, that it was going to be found unconstitutional. Now, having said that, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect or I'm, just the only thing I say is the rightest thing in the world, because the determination still will be made by judges, okay? But under the present law that exists right now, there are some constitutional problems. And I'm going to just talk about 2 of them. One is that it directly conflicts with the existing Supreme Court precedent, such as in Kennedy versus Louisiana, 2008, it was held that imposing the death penalty for child rape where the victim did not die is unconstitutional under the 8th Amendment that prohibits prohibition on cruel and unusual punishment. So that's going to be one of the hurdles that this law is going to have to overcome, the existing decision in the Supreme Court as it relates to Kennedy versus Louisiana. The next one is going to be under due process and fair trial concerns. The death penalty trial requires extra protection. That's what I noticed on the news that there was a man that's been in there since 1991, that through all those processes, they're just not getting to the point where I think a decision has been made or will be made whether they will have to face the death penalty. Those procedures don't necessarily apply to the charges of rape. And so that in itself is going to be a second issue that's going to have to be addressed, and that is due process and, of course, the fair trial concerns. The death penalty trial requires extra protection, as I said. And the question is, how will the bill address disparities in the legal representation and resource for indigent defendants? Okay, how will due process protect against wrongful conviction, especially given the documentary inquiry and the capital cases? The capital cases is what I was talking about up there. These are questions that still exist in a bill that takes a crime where a person is not dead, but applies the death penalty to the victim. The other one, of course, is the equal protection. It said whether evidence exists that the expanded death penalty would be applied, then of course the how it's applied is going to be addressed unless there are standards. So I just want to share that with you, that those are going to be some concerns from that aspect of it, that once that someone is brought under this, that those will most likely be among whatever other challenges you have. And it's a high hurdle to get over these. And I don't say it as a colleague here as much as I say it as a 25-year constitutional law professor in law school, is that I kind of understand that those are going to be some hurdles that we'll have to get past. But now, having said that, in conclusion, I'm going to go back to the very beginning. I think that people like that ought to be removed from everybody in society that may, through direct or indirectly, come in contact with those people, especially after they have shown what they would do. And yes, my vote for this with you is because this kind of a crime should be raised to a Class A felony, because it is of the highest violation that can be done to an individual when you do children that way. So I'm going to turn this mic over. I think my senator behind me would like to, talk with you a little bit regarding this particular issue. And at the proper time when you call for it, as I said earlier, I'm going to vote with you.
Thank you, sir.
And Senator, Mr. Chairman.
Senator
I'll
Smithman.
give you the little title. You sitting up there. If I may, I would like to yield to Senator Figures at this time.
All right, Senator Figures, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Senator Smithman, I know you are in the habit of yielding to Senator Singleton. Senator Weaver, I appreciate you handling this bill for Representative Simpson, and I've already talked to him as well. As you know, I don't believe in the death penalty in any form or fashion, and I've always voted no on every bill these last 30 years that I've been here that had anything to do with the death penalty. Number one, I don't believe that the death penalty actually deters anyone from crime or committing certain crimes. It does not deter. And two, I think it's a worse penalty for that person to have to sit in jail every day and think about what they've done and not be able to see the light of day in terms of freedom after that. And I think my reputation precedes itself in terms of how I feel about our children and protecting them. And that's a great part of why I feel that the calling on my life to be here is to fight for them and protect them and give them all the tools and resources they need to become the best that they can be in this life. So I will have to vote no on, I will be voting no on this bill, but I wanted it to be known why I was voting no on this bill, because, you know, protecting our children means everything to me. We had a little 8-year-old back in 2014 that came up missing, Hawaii Robinson. I get full every time I think about it. And we couldn't even do an Amber Alert because it was not known whether or not she had been abducted. There was no evidence of that, so they couldn't do an Amber Alert. So I decided to do a bill saying that when any child comes up missing and the caregivers can confirm that that child is missing, that an alert would go out. So it's the Missing Child's Alert. And as that case turned out, it was her father who had her and had committed sexual things with her or whatever. And it's just sad, but he is spending the rest of his life in prison to this day. So my heart goes out to our children. I pray for them all the time, for their protection, even in their homes, with their families, and also strangers. So I appreciate what you're doing, but because of this death penalty, I will have to vote no.
Certainly, you and I have worked together on many situations where we work to protect
Mr. President,
our children.
could you calm the colleagues down?
Yes, members, we have a couple that can't hear.
Like I said, certainly you and I have worked together on many instances where we've worked on things to protect our precious children. I remember that terrible case that happened there in your area as well. While you and I disagree on our opinions about the death penalty, I know that there will be lots of occasions going forward where you and I will work together to protect the children of Alabama.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Figures.
Mr. President, may I be recognized?
Senator Coleman Madison, you're recognized.
Thank you, sir. Senator Weaver, sometimes it's a hard one because, like Senator Figures, I'm sort of hate to be on the fence. Hate to be on the fence when it comes down to the death penalty, but you do have those bad actors that are out there that just do horrific things. And I've had a few incidents in my own family involving where family members were murdered, and that person is out. And my thing is that, okay, well, yes, they deserve the death penalty, but if I truly respect life and believe in the concepts of pro-life, then it's hard to go along with this. But I do want to follow up on some questions because I did support your bill in committee. And you have to see things, everything is not black and white. There is a gray area there. And so that's why I sit on the fence, having been affected by this by family members, and that person being sitting there, and sometimes they're still out. As I know that one case is still going on right now involving a murder. But this is a situation of case of a child, a young child. And that's where I look at the fact, and I hear my colleagues back here in their conversation more than they do. And that's where it kind of tugs at your heart, because there is a choice. This is not an adult. This is a child that doesn't have, has not reached the age of consent for anything. And so that's why it is difficult, because people do have choices in those situations. But at the same time, I know that in the world that we live in with mental illness and everything else that's going on, and you have people that may be chronologically 23, but mentally they may have a mind of a 5 or a 7-year-old themselves. You do have that category of people that are out there. And as people get older, having dealt with people with that are special needs, I do understand that they don't understand their body and their body changes. So the questions that I have sort of follows along with the fact that, first of all, I don't know that the death penalty, and it's sad to say in the world that we live in today, the death penalty does not seem to be a deterrent to crime. But the protections of trial by jury is in the bill. My concern is that you have those people that just point blank, not necessarily listening to anything, and I understand the striking system when they are allowed to listen to the person, ask them questions, and determine whether they're going to strike them. But what about death qualified jurors? In other words, these are people that they may be adamantly opposed to it, or they may be for the death penalty. It's just, my mind is made up time I get on there, and I'm hoping that that is a consideration. But the bigger consideration goes back to what Senator Figgers mentioned when they caught the person who was who committed the crime. And we're talking about raising this to a death penalty. Have we thought about the effects that the threat of a death penalty in reporting this, because somebody has to report it, and it is a family member? And we have this going on right now in a lot of families, and they know what is going on. Is this going to encourage people to report? I'm trying to get, how do we get around that? How do we deal with that? Even if, and I use myself as an example, being a former classroom teacher, and the child came to me and reported that she was being sexually assaulted by a family member. Okay, I report that, but then again, there has to be confirmation on the child. While she might have shared that with me when asked, she might not have said that to someone else. But in this case, would this be a deterrent, knowing that, okay, now this is raised to a higher level, the death penalty? And if it's your father or your brother or uncle or whatever, and you understand that. So I'm just curious about that part of it.
So I will tell you, I don't think that it will. I have worked with several victims' rights groups, and we've had discussion about things such as that, and none of those groups that I've spoken to or that I've worked with have expressed any issues related to that. And as a matter of fact, they support and stand solid behind this legislation.
Have you all talked with anyone, I don't know, and all the people, I know you have these special groups, have you talked to people in like DHR, because they tend to see a lot of these cases? How might this?
And I can tell you, we have talked to so many people over the past year. Representative Simpson and I have both, we've had a press conference, we have invited groups to come talk to us about this. We have had numerous conversations over the past year, and at the end of the day, we all believe that we need to be protecting the children of Alabama. And, during these horrific cases, this death penalty is optional, and I have every confidence that our prosecutors will work with the children and their families, and they will do what's right based on the specific cases.
I hope so, because when somebody says I was raped, Alabama does have a history of somebody saying they were raped and they were not raped. I'm just hoping that there is conclusive proof. And understand, I am not saying that people like this should not be locked up, and maybe even the death penalty. However, I want to make sure that when a person says that there's conclusive evidence. A long time ago, we didn't have DNA, and a lot of people were executed and killed based on what somebody said. I just want to make sure that everything is done accordingly, proper procedures, evidence that stands up in court, that you know that this is the person and you have the evidence, and this is not something that, based on what somebody says, and that I was raped or what have you, and then the person is put to death, and then who knows, maybe later on they find out they admit, well, no, it wasn't that person, it was somebody else. Thank you.
All right, Senator Coleman, you're recognized.
Thank you so much. I was sitting there just trying to think about where I wanted to start, because it's a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different issues that I did want to discuss with the gentlelady while I was here. Want to commend you on the work that you're doing, especially the type of case where these children were trafficked. For many, many years, I've championed eradicating human trafficking in the state of Alabama, sponsored and passed several pieces of legislation, and worked with national groups on this issue. Matter of fact, brought the whole issue of trafficking to Alabama back in '03 to my colleagues. Not saying I brought it to my colleagues when I served in the House, and I remember talking to folks then after a training I had gone to in DC, and people were saying, colleagues, no, that doesn't happen in Alabama, doesn't happen here. And of course, we then ultimately found out that it absolutely happens here and everywhere. And then when it comes to, and of course, there are various types of trafficking, but when it comes to our children specifically, that vulnerable hours for our children, 3 to 5, when they're coming home from school and their parents hadn't made it home from work yet. And so I want to commend the gentlelady for the work that she's doing right now to try to protect our children. This bill, though, I have questions, of course, about constitutionality of it. But look, as a parent, if I'm gonna hold my tongue on how I would feel. And my children now, of course, are 28 and 25 adults, about how I feel about my children, Alabama's children, and anyone who would hurt or harm them. But again, the constitutionality piece is the issue with your bill. In addition to, how long have you been serving? I can't remember how long.
Here in the Senate, or
because we served in House together
here in the
first.
House together. I
What's
came
the
in
total?
2010.
Since 2010.
I've been here in the Senate since 21.
So you've been here. I'm trying to remember the last year that I sponsored a death penalty moratorium bill. It was when I was in the House, because upstairs here in the Senate, Senator Sanders was the Senate sponsor of it. And so for many years, I've never even talked about what my personal stance is on the death penalty, because I didn't want people to confuse any belief system with the reason why I was sponsoring the moratorium. And I was just doing that because for many years, now the Supreme Court has done some things now when it comes to people who are under the age of 18, in addition to people that have diminished mental capacity, all of those things. But we'd seen studies where there was a disproportionate sentence of the death penalty for poor people, folks, communities of color. And so my whole reason for sponsoring that legislation, it was a 3-year moratorium for us to do the study and the work here in Alabama. So, ultimately it didn't pass. But so I'm just a little conflicted just on this particular bill when it comes to the constitutionality and, of course, my stance that I've had for many years on a moratorium. So that's a conflict. I'm still when I'm standing in front of you right now, I still have not made a decision yet on how I'm gonna vote on the bill. But again, just wanna reiterate the point of what you're trying to do for our children. And I actually got excited, not about the issue, but when I saw your press conference, I said, and I can't remember how many people were there, members, but there were quite a few members that were there and I said, so now I'm feeling good that maybe we'll have some additional champions for survivors who are now adults of child sex assault, because now with this, on the criminal end, we still have to deal with the fallout of what has happened to those children.
You're exactly correct.
And so we've seen, I have, saying we always talking we, because I think collectively, I don't know why, but we, seen studies where these children will have long-term, I don't want to say problems, but we'll have to help them long-term. Mental health support, some of them even job skills, education, all of this support that we're going to need to give these children, which your bill didn't speak to. The actual survivors, those, how are we going to help and support them after they've gone through this? And I did see a report one time that it's several billions of dollars that is being spent, especially for kids who end up in the system. So again, you know, of course, and they're in the system, and so we're having to pay for all of their needs to try to help them survive this and go on to adulthood and be able to, you know, work in society and be taxpayer citizens and all of that. But there is a cost to that. And there is quite a bit of a public cost, public dollars that go to help and support these folks. So I have had legislation for several years to try to shift the burden of that cost onto the people who have done the deed. But for some reason, it just can't move through this legislative body, and I don't understand that. To where what we're trying to do is give these survivors the ability to civilly sue the person, the institution that hit it, just like what we did with the Boy Scouts. We were able to do that. But for whatever reason, for all of these other survivors, we have not been able to move this legislation in this body. Well, not just this one, downstairs either. And so I got excited when I saw you do your press conference that day, because I said, now we have some more champions of folks who truly want to help children. So again, we need to do whatever we need to do criminally for the folks who have hurt and harmed our young people. But then there needs to be another layer of support for them. You said in your comments that there was a child that was a part or abused in that ring, 3 years old?
3 years old.
3 years old.
10 children total.
3. And so think about the long-term help that the 3-year-old and those others are going to need. Your bill doesn't address that. And so again, I'm trying to do something on the other end that does help them, because what we also know too is that even though this particular case has happened, it's gotten a lot of publicity, a lot of survivors suppress what has happened to them. They don't report it. Many of them do not report until adulthood. And the way that the statute of limitation is right now, by the age that they finally say it, talk about it, and have the ability or the courage to be able to now go forward after them on the civil end, the statute has passed. And so what I'm trying to do is open that statute up, do a revival period, just like many other states have done, over a 2-year period, to give them the ability to shift that financial burden, because the person or the entity or who did the deed, they should be paying, not the taxpayers. And so we need to do something there too. Again, I'm not saying anything negative about your legislation. I commend you on wanting to do this and to, again, stick it to the people who have harmed our children, to the highest penalty. I just don't know if it's constitutional, but we got to do something also that helps these survivors. There is a group of survivors of sexual assault in the state of Alabama, and that's how the bill was brought to me. And they meet They send me all kinds of information on articles that come out. And so, I mean, these children are still being harmed. And right now, we don't have recourse for these adults who have finally said, hey, I need to, you know, I'm at the point where I will make them pay. Because there's more than one way to make them pay. Criminally, but also civilly. Hit them where the pocketbook is. And for any institution or entity that allowed it to happen, they knew it was going on. They need to pay as well. And we've all read stories. I mean, that's why we have the Boy Scouts, the Settlement Trust Fund. Those entities, the big fish, are to pay as well. And so that is my frustration, is that on one end, we say we want to help and protect children, but then on this other side, there is and I don't think it's anybody in the body, but there's a special interest group or groups that's doing something to block my legislation. They're protecting somebody. But I don't know how you protect child predators. I don't know how you do that and be able to sleep at night. So yes, let's hit them here criminally, but any institution, any person, a financial who has done this, make them pay too, because we're paying as taxpayers. And so my appeal to the gentlelady today is the same passion that you have for getting these folks criminally, that you connect with me, join with me, where we hit them civilly. And whoever the special interest is, I mean, I've done this several times now. I've been willing to sit down at the table with whomever. And I have to take this opportunity also to thank the Pro Tem, Senator Bell, of course, Senator Singleton and Senator Smitherman. And I'm forgetting one other person. It's one other lawyer that has been working with me as well on, who am I forgetting? And yes, how did I forget? And Senator Gavan as well, for trying to help us come up with he's looking like, what? She just called my name? But trying to get a piece of legislation that we can pass so these survivors of child sex assault will have some level of recourse on the civil end. So I want to publicly thank you all. And I thought this was going to be the session, but I'm still hitting some roadblocks. And so whoever it is, y'all please come talk to me. Let's do something so we can not only, because this is going to pass today, hit these criminals, put them in jail, but we also need to hit them in the pocketbook and give these survivors some level of resources, and also curtail the amount of money that the taxpayers are having to pay, because there's long-term help that these survivors need. So with that, again, I'm gonna go over here, pray, think, read some more before we take this final vote. But I wanna leave again on a positive note, and thank you for what you're doing for Alabama's children.
Thank you for what you do for Alabama's children too, and I think we can all agree that we need to protect these children and they deserve justice.
Yes, they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Coleman. All right, Senator Weaver.
I'd like to move for final passage using previous role.
All right, Senator Singleton, you want to speak to the motion? You recognize.
Yeah. You know, Superman had kryptonite, and this is my kryptonite. I want to be so much against the death penalty, but I represented Bibb County also, just like you did, in my first years in the House and portion of my Senate years. And to think of what went on in that community lends me to say Superman can't fly beyond this kryptonite. when something as horrific as this, and I just want to make sure that outside of this incident that we are not having any other unintended consequences, that we look back, because once we do the death penalty, it's over. It's not like, we got the wrong man. I looked at this bill and I said, well, I know that sometimes there are prosecutors that does malicious prosecution who just want to get a case and say, I think I got the right person, I'm going to go on and do what I'm going to do and prosecute them without sometimes, and we've seen evidence come up later on and years later. That's why we're paying restitution to some people who have been locked up, some for life, because of evidence that came along later. I wanted to craft an amendment to say that if there was a prosecutor and or investigator, an officer, who intentionally withheld evidence that could have set someone free based on this death penalty, then if they did it, then they should get the death penalty. I wanted to bring one of those, and I know that everybody would have fought against that, but sometimes these people in these authoritarian positions are just doing stuff to cut the teeth because I might get me a judgeship if I can prosecute so many. People want to be tough on crime, and investigators who are playing. As a young black man, there's been a lot of accusations against black men about rape, and somebody raped me and it wasn't even them. History shows that. I don't have to sit here and try to make case for case, but when I think about all of that, still that picture of what went on in that county becomes my kryptonite. And I can't hardly get that because I got young daughters. If it was my daughter, we wouldn't even be talking about this case because you'd have been locking Bobby Singleton up. Okay? I probably just went on, took myself on in and said, here I am. Yes, I killed him.
I think we can all agree on that as parents.
Okay.
I think we all agree.
I
with
did
mindset.
that. I would just turn myself in and say, I did it. And it was with intent, maliciously, knowingly, willfully, all of those things that to give me the death penalty. I would have admitted all of it. I would have told my lawyer, I don't even need no lawyer. I'm not finna spend all that money on y'all because he did that to my daughter. That's my kryptonite. So again, I just want to thank you. And I'm going to sit down over here, I'm going to take my little cape, and I'm not even going to try to be Superman on this one. Even though I'm against the death penalty, I'm going to go over here and sit down and let you pass your bill because this becomes my kryptonite. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Singleton. Senator Weaver,
Thank you. With that, I'd like to move for final passage.
using the long roll.
Long roll.
All right. Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Yes, sir. Ms. Weaver.
Aye.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Woods.
33 ayes, 1 nay. HB 41 receives its final passage. Thank you, Senator Weaver.
You may I have a point of personal privilege, please?
You're recognized.
So I have worked with Representative Matt Simpson over the past year for this bill, and he has been such a great partner in helping work through all this. I have been in touch with him this morning. He is recovering well, and he is watching online right now. I know he looks forward to being back in the State House very soon. We look forward to having him back. And today I just want to thank him for the collaboration and working with me to protect not only the children of my district, but also the children of Alabama.
All right, Secretary Call. Thank you. Secretary Call, next bill.
On page 15 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 59 by Senator Orr regarding higher education. BR pending.
Senator Orr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd move adoption of the BIR using the previous role.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
Thirty-three ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
Page 15 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 59 by Senator Orr regarding higher education. Committee amendment pending.
Senator Orr.
Mr. President, I would move adoption of the committee amendment using the previous role.
Mr. President,
Senator Singleton.
could you explain the committee amendment and what it does here?
Yeah, this is the committee amendment came at the recommendation of members of the higher ed community, and it's basically deals with the timing of the reporting of your plan. And so we pushed it out a little bit because they don't get their audited financials, and it was in time with the original bill to be able to then give us a report. So we pushed the time for reporting out a little bit, give them some flexibility.
So all of higher ed is supporting this?
Yeah, nobody has approached me, said they had this, other than this amendment, which was.
Is this support? Is this support because they think it's the right thing, or this support with a pistol up against the head?
No, there is no pistol, but I think they probably see the value in it. If we do have a harsh fiscal downturn, of having a plan in place like this.
Tell me about the reporting and what we expect to do with the reporting in the plan. I'm not here trying to hold up the bill. I just want to better understand it. Because I missed a couple of our committee meetings being out sick.
So back in the Great Recession, I put a bill through to require this, and it's actually here in this bill copy, to require this of general fund agencies. And the problem is, as the federal dollars decline, Medicaid and the FMAP match
I remember that.
We're scrambling. And what would you do if you had a cut to your federal dollars, in this case, or state dollars?
Title III and all of those dollars that are coming
in. And what would your plan be?
Okay.
How would you address that? Just so they're thinking forward and they have something on the shelf. They can modify it. It's not a one and done. They can play with it. They don't even arguably have to follow the plan. If doomsday came, they're not tied to it, but at least they know where the low-hanging fruit is. If we had a small 5% downturn, or if we had a 25% downturn, they would have a plan of how they would preserve the mission as best they could, and that would be passed on to a successor. Again, they can tweak it however they want, but at least it would be on the shelf to take down, to look at, and
So is this plan going to be reported to, given to AIC or someone who will have that plan?
They have to
They just
report
have-
that they have the plan
Report it
ready
back to the legislature that they do have a
They got
plan.
the plan and the plan's ready to. They're in compliance with
Okay.
the law, and that's
Okay.
I mean,
Since nothing-
I'm not going through their plan. I don't really.
That's what I was
their
just wondering,
business.
whether or not there's some kind of plan we're trying to make,
No,
or whether
I'm
or not
not
they're going to be
meddling.
punitive or not if they didn't get a plan, or
No,
it's
they-
going to reduce their funding or
They
something.
need to have a plan.
Gotcha.
And if they don't have a plan, there could be consequences. But just have a plan and have it on time. And they've through the years, Senator, as they after they get the initial plan, they can. Next year, same plan. Next year, same plan. You know, they can roll it forward and
I got you.
without any new effort. And that's what most of our state agencies are doing. But I've had them tell me, those in the state on the general fund side, that it made them do a lot of thinking and evaluating and considering, and then they feel like they're more prepared than they were in 2011 and 2012 and 2013.
And I think that's a good thing. And now that I better understand,
Yeah.
you know, right now I got a lot of my, you know, we go back home and we go to these community meetings and people be asking us questions that city council people should be doing or county commissioner people should be doing. And I asked them, well, what is the city plan? What is your county plan? What is your 5-year plan? I can't help you down here if you don't have a plan. And so I'm trying to make my cities and counties now come up with a plan.
I wish it were a plan for growth and big times instead of being negative and
Yeah, I understand.
hard times. But
Right. But you got to look at that.
yeah.
Because the reality is that there's going to come that time where there's going to be a downturn.
Well, and unfortunately, higher ed is the one that takes it on the chin the worst in that downturn, because K-12, they can't start charging tuition, and they can't, you know, and
Correct.
there are a lot of teacher contracts, et cetera, and higher ed is kind of the first one, unfortunately, that, and
Okay.
if history repeats itself, 2011, 12, 13, they're the ones that took it the hardest.
I got a better understanding now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'd move adoption of the amendment, Mr. President, using the previous rule.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
Thirty-four ayes, 0 nays. The committee amendment's adopted. All right, Senator Orr.
Third reading, Mr. President, using the previous rule.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 59 passes. Thank you, Senator Orr. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 17 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 203 by Senator Figures and others regarding crimes and procedure. BR pending.
Senator Figures.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is Senate Bill 203. If you would notice, all of the senators signed on as co-sponsors. We do have 2 amendments. It's enhanced penalties for crimes against children. It increases indecent exposure to a Class C felony when the victim is under 12 years old. Currently only escalated to a Class C felony on a 3rd conviction. And it currently, only children under 12 are protected from directed to engage in sexual activity. This bill raises the age threshold to protect children under 16, among other things. So if there aren't any questions, I'd like to submit my first amendment, please.
All right, we need to adopt the BIR first, if you want to.
I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. I move to adopt the BIR using previous rule without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 17 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 203 by Senator Figures and others regarding crimes and procedure. Committee amendment pending.
All right, Senator Figures, we are on the committee amendment now.
Yes, sir. I move to adopt the committee amendment using previous rule without objection.
Okay, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The committee amendment adopted.
Mr. President, I'd like
Figures.
to offer the First Amendment.
All right, Secretary read and receive the amendment, please.
Amendment to Senate Bill 203 by Senator Figures. Replace line 51 on page 2 with the following. Replace line 81 on page 3 with the following. Replace line 559 on page 20 with the following.
Mr. President, if I could just have a moment, please, with Senator Barfoot.
All right.
Mr. President, if you would indulge me, I'd like to pass this amendment and carry it over for a moment. I seem to have.
Okay, that's fine. Carry this
I'd
amendment.
like
You
to
want to go ahead
adopt
and
this amendment and then carry it over, and then
all
I'd
right,
like
you
to
want to
come
use
back.
previous roll?
Yes, sir.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
And carry it over to the call of the chair so I can come right back with the other amendment.
Let me get this amendment added on first. All right. We're using previous roll, no objection.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
All right, 34 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Figure amendments adopted. Now, Senator Figures, you want to carry this over at the call of the chair?
Yes, sir.
All
I just need to get the amendment, and then I'll
Any
be right
objection?
back.
Hearing none, so ordered. So Senate Bill 203 is carried over, call of the chair. Secretary, call the next bill.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
On page 26 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 169 by Senators Sessions and Williams regarding crimes and offenses. BR pending.
Senator Sessions.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd get it on board. Make a motion to approve the BIR using previous roll without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 26 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 169 by Senators Sessions and Williams regarding crimes and offenses.
Mr. President, I think there's a committee amendment. At this time, I'd make motion to accept the committee amendment using previous roll without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
Thirty-four ayes, 0 nays. The committee amendment's adopted. All right, Senator Sessions.
Mr. President, there are no questions. I move final passage using previous roll without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 169 passes. Thanks, Senator Sessions.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, could I have a moment of personal privilege?
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, body, thank y'all very much for that. This bill came to me from my committee. There were 2 families that lost family members, and this corrects a loophole in the judicial system that was allowing someone that fled the scene of an accident to basically be rewarded for that. This closed that loophole. Judges were for it. It was bipartisan. Everyone in this chamber, I think, is for this piece of legislation. And one of the families that were a victim of this is here today. Terry and Florencia Holt, would you stand up, please? They're up here in the gallery. Their son was lost, and it's not going to help them. It's not going to bring him back, but it will help someone in the future. And I just want to thank them and thank the body for passing this. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, and great to have you all today. Enjoyed meeting you all in the hall the other day. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 15 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 62 by Senator Orr regarding the Charter School Finance Authority. BR pending.
Senator Orr.
Mr. President, I move adoption of the BR using the previous role.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 15 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 62 by Senator Orr regarding the Charter School Finance Authority. Committee amendment pending.
Mr. President,
Senator Orr.
I'd move adoption of the committee amendment using the previous role.
All right, any objection? You object? Or
Be recognized to
Okay.
talk on the amendment.
you're recognized.
Senator, would you explain it to me what the amendment does?
It is the standard amendment regarding liability and immunity that we usually put in legislation like this.
And you being a lawyer, I can ask lawyer questions so I can get lawyer answers. I know I will. What is it immuning them from?
Well, if it's sometimes, let's say we pass this bill, okay, and there is a charter school bond finance committee meeting, and let's say that they're getting together at their meeting, and then to celebrate a bond issuance, they have a bunch of cocktails, and the commission members are all having a good time. And one of them gets behind the wheel of a car and hurts somebody as they leave after they leave the meeting. And let's say that injured person says, well, I want to sue because I've been injured out here on the roadway by somebody who maybe had a good time at the commission meeting. And the lawyer, the good defense lawyer, would say, well, they were in the scope of being a state agency and they've got sovereign immunity. That'd be their argument. Well, this says no, the immunity wouldn't attach for some act that's not within the scope, the true scope of sitting on a commission.
Okay, all right. You're very clear on that. Thank you.
We want to go ahead and adopt it, and then we'll talk about
Yeah,
the
let's
bill.
adopt it. Yeah, let's do that.
Previous role, Mr. President, if no objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The committee amendment's adopted. All right, Senator Orr.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the benefit of the members and certainly the gentleman across the way, this is from the Charter School Commission, and it would allow them the ability to do bond financing. It would not cost the state any money. It would not go to the state's credit rating. It's just setting up an independent bonding authority to help those charter schools that may need capital funds for construction or whatever in delivering the services of the charter school. A couple reasons for this. One would be the bonds issued would be tax-free, like any school bond would be. And we saw that the school, the University Charter School in Livingston, Alabama, had to go out on its own and try to sell bonds to create or construct a facility over there with West Alabama, University of West Alabama. So having a statewide entity is much more conducive. So we're following the lead of other states such as Colorado, California, Texas, Arizona, Florida that have these type entities to help with school bonds that can be tax exempt through the charter program in their state. Another entity, several states through their charter school bond authorities have utilized equitable facility funds, and the EFF is a 501c3 nonprofit that provides low-cost loans. So the Walton Foundation and other large charitable organizations help these charter schools using through this vehicle that, if this bill passes, sets up. So it would be a benefit to our charter schools, and again, not cost the state any money or liability. I'd yield to the gentleman for any questions, but I'm not a bond lawyer. Please.
Well, I'm gonna make you laugh when I tell you I've done work in that field, so I'm a little familiar with bond work regarding that over the course of the time I've been able to practice. Now I want to just be a little different with you on one of the things that you said, and you correct me if my differ is not accurate, okay?
I'll do the best I can.
Of simply this, is that I see this as an advantage for them because, I see it as, I won't say an advantage for them, I see it as the state actually participating in the, I don't want to use the word loss. When you say that it won't be a loss to the state, I don't want to turn around and say it that way, the opposite. But the point I was making is this. If they getting tax-free bonds, the state ain't getting the tax. It's just that simple. So it is a cost, in my opinion, to the state from getting not a cost of what we have right now and we reaching in there taking it out, but by creating this document, then it's going to deny us the opportunity of getting those taxes if they did that and we hadn't created this document. Now, my purpose for saying that is that I'm not how should I put it? I'm not here standing to necessarily say that they should not have that opportunity. Okay, that's the best way I should say it that way. That's not, I had to bring that out, but I'm standing here, and I think, when you hear what I said, you probably smile, you may not smile, but you probably inside gonna smile when I say this because I'm here because here's a situation that we are gonna give assistance, okay? And I'm not trying to measure because one area may need more assistance than the other, okay? But the fact that we are sensitive enough that we are gonna give assistance to the charter schools in this regard. So that's over here. Over here is that as we move forward, and the reason I'm talking to you because they happen that you happen to be the chairman of that committee, and all this falls and what I'm talking about over on the side that you on, is that, so over here we have this where we're gonna help them. Over here we have where we're talking about taking their money and helping the private schools and the private school parents and kids in the Choice Act. People can say what they want to about, well, that private, and very few public kids are going to use the Choice Act, and then unless they're going to take it to go where? To a private school. Because they don't have to have the Choice Act if they are in a failing school, they can just go. And they automatically can participate in everything, because that's the federal law, saying that if you're coming out of federal school, you can do that. Failing school, you can do that. So You said, well, what are you saying, Senator? I'm saying this, is that I got a bill. That's why he's gonna smile when I say this. I got a bill. It just hit your committee. And that bill says one thing. It says that we have, and I might be wrong on my number, it says we have 167 failing schools. And it says that the same model that Governor Ivey used in the turnaround schools to turn around those schools that she selected. An example of those schools is that two of the schools that was recognized was Washington K-8 and Hayes K-8. The kids were invited down. They were recognized in the State of the State ceremony. Washington, I want to say, yeah, I think Washington, I think that's the one. Washington was recognized as one of the most successful turnaround schools in the nation. It went from an F all the way up to, I think maybe it was 84, but it went to a B. All because of in part, big part, because the assistance that Governor Ivey provided in the turnaround program. So the model has been demonstrated that it will work. There's no question. The procedures are already in place. Whatever the governor's procedures or the finance department procedures were as it relates to the funds and accountability and the steps that it will be used or whatever, all of that is in place right now. Even in the proposed budget that is before us to consider, there is funds that are in there for an additional effort by the executive administration to be able to address turnaround schools. So we will be voting on that in the budget as well. What I'm standing here just saying plainly is this, is that each one of those 160-something schools, which touch every one of you all's district, and when we get to that point, we're not there now, Senator. I know, Mr. Chairman, we'll hear about the charter school bill. We're not there yet. But prior to getting there, I'm going to provide for each one of you all how many failing schools and the name of those failing schools that's in every one of y'all districts, so that you too can see the need for us to get this money I'm trying to get for all failing schools. So your failing school can become a class school that has passed and actually can become a counter school that when people talk about choice, they may want to choose that school to go to because it has moved out of the failing category. So having said that, is that I need you all support so that, and of course I've got to have the chairman's support, but I need you all support along with the chairman so that we can provide $1 million for each one of those failing schools, just like the governor did in the turnaround program, so that they can have the resources to be able to pull themselves out of being a failing school, and those kids can then be able to have the necessary resources to be able to have whatever they need. I don't know what they need. I'm not the expert of what these schools need, but revenue itself. But other than those steps, each school may be unique in those steps that they need to get there. But I would hope that very soon that we will be able to address that issue first in committee, and hopefully that you all will see the need to help your schools that are failing schools so that we can move forward from the committee process to be able to come out here so that we can, wherever considerations, adjustments people want to suggest in our quest to be able to get those resources, then those can be considered by the body as a whole. So I want to say that because we are kind of eager to help all these other independent entities to out of our resources that we have in the state, that in past times, having been here the length of time I have, I can tell you past times that those resources was exclusively or primarily used for public schools. Now we've allowed those resources to go further out for private schools and public charter schools as well. So that if we are gonna do that, then it's only reasonable, it's only fair that we provide the necessary resources for public schools who was designated from the beginning of this process to receive exclusively those funds. If you notice the interpretations, when you go back, we never sent funds to a religious school because it's a separation of church and state. That's why we did not do it. Now we do, and I'm not complaining or against it or talking against it. If we are doing it, fine. But we can't do it at the expense of the public schools and those kids. Because just as you heard Mr. Chairman said, they want the ability for the Walton, I think he said Walton Foundation, if they want to provide funds, they provide funds. Okay, those same people who I'm talking about, they have people who walk the halls to secure that, and that's fine. But the person who these little kids in these public schools have to walk the halls is us. It's us. Without us, they don't have anybody down here speaking or talking in that vein for them other than all of us. So I hope that you will join me as we go forward in trying to make sure that we can provide assistance to those schools and at that level or at a substantial level so that those schools can have an opportunity to pull out of there. Now, by no means, I want the body to think that Mr. Chairman has not heard that and has not attempted to look toward that direction, because the putting together of the committee.
I got some thoughts on that.
Okay. And I don't mind if you and I sit down and talk about those thoughts. You know, I want to say that to you. But we have a joint committee of the House and Senate that's looking at the foundation program. And as I look in here, Mr. Rule's chair and myself are the only two people sitting in this body who was in the Alabama legislature and was a part of the team that established the foundation program. We didn't have a program. He and I, out of everybody in here. So I'm excited to see what Mr. Chairman has started leading us in that direction. So I want us to keep going in that direction. But as he's heard me say, and some of the members as well, is that because they are so deep in a hole, that formula we have will help, but that formula was designed to address where they are in terms of maintaining coming from a certain level. But to get them up to this level, which is baseline, so that when that kicks in, then that can sustain what's being done. We've got to get them there on a one-time basis. Y'all hear me say this? So I don't want anybody to come talking about the budget can't stand that every year, because we're not talking about every year. We're talking about one time, so that we can get them up to baseline. And then after that, what we are trying to do, Mr. Chairman is trying to bring us to, with the attention being paid to what, if any, changes we could make to the foundation program that will get us to that next level. So I just want to say thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to share that to everyone. I mean, and I want to just tell y'all this, he and I from time to time are constantly having this conversation. So it's not so much to him I'm saying it as I'm saying it to the body, because this is the only time I got all y'all together. Now, next time, y'all, we're going to do it this way. So y'all need to have a invitation section for about 15 or 20 minutes, and y'all caucus meeting. So see, then I can come up there and talk to all y'all, you know. So have a little visitor section. You know how when you have a program at the end, you say, "Is there any visitors?" Would you stand up and please identify yourself? See, then you might could have a little section like this. So it's just a suggestion. That's
You
all.
got better food in your caucus. I've been there.
Thank you, but thank you, Mr. President, and I look forward to you and I sitting down talking about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. We'll pass that on to Senator Livingston. All right.
I'd move third reading using the previous rule.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
Thirty-four ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 62 passes. Thanks, Senator Orr.
Mr. President.
Yeah. Senator Figures.
I'd like to call back up SB 203
Okay.
to add that additional amendment.
All right. Secretary, call that bill, please.
Page 17 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 203 by Senator Figures and others regarding crimes and procedure.
I'd like to offer an amendment.
Okay. Secretary Ream received the amendment.
Amendment to Senate Bill 203 by Senator Figures. Replace line 411 on page 15 with the following.
I move for adoption of the amendment using previous rule without objection.
Mr. President, can
All
I?
right, Senator Barfoot.
I want to just say thank you before we vote. I want to say thank you to Senator Figures. Had some questions about that amendment, and she worked with us to make sure that there was an understanding and supportive of that amendment. So I just wanted to let the body know that. And thank you, Senator Figures.
Thank you,
All right.
Senator Barfoot.
Thanks, Senator Barfoot. All right. Adoption of the amendment. Do you want to use previous roll?
Yes, sir, please, without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Figures, amendment number 2 is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, members of the Senate.
All right. You want to? We need to pass the bill if you want to.
You know, today has just been a crazy day with me, starting with me losing my car key. Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to move for final passage of SB 203 using previous rule without objection.
All right. Any objection? All right. Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 203 passes. Thanks, Senator Figures.
Thank you again, Mr. President, and thank you again, members of the Senate.
All right. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 17 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 180 by Senator Barfoot regarding the Board of Pardons and Paroles. BR pending.
Senator Barfoot.
Mr. President, I'd move for adoption of the BIR using previous rule.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 17 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 180 by Senator Barfoot regarding the Board of Pardons and Paroles.
Senator Barfoot.
I believe we've got a committee amendment. With that, I'd move to adopt the committee amendment using previous rule.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The committee amendment is adopted. Senator Barfoot.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just really briefly, this just changes does not affect the term, but it changes the confirmation dates of those board members on the Board of Pardon and Parole to when we're in session from July to a time period that we're in session. So with that, hearing no opposition, I'd move for final passage of SB 180 as amended using previous rule.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 180 passes. Thanks, Senator Barfoot. All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 8 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 167 by Senator Orr regarding the Alabama Administrative Procedure Act. BR pending.
Senator Orr.
Mr. President, I move adoption of the BIR
Would you like to use previous roll?
using the previous rule. Thank you.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 8 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 167 by Senator Orr regarding the Administrative Procedure Act. Committee amendment pending.
Move adoption of the amendment using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The committee amendment is adopted. Senator Orr.
Thank you, Mr. President. We approved this same bill last year, 30-0. I'd move third reading using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 167 passes. Thanks, Senator Orr. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 25 of the calendar, House Bill number 149 by Representatives Hill and others regarding the Board of Commissioners of the Alabama State Bar. BR pending.
Senator Smitherman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for passage of BIR and ask unanimous consent to use previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
33 ayes, 1 nay. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 25 of the calendar, House Bill number 149 by Representatives Hill and others regarding the Alabama State Bar.
Mr. President.
Senator Smitherman.
Thank you. Members, this bill is a bill that's presented by the Alabama State Bar, and this bill deals with Section 34.343-1. The Board of Commissioners of the Alabama State Bar is an agency of the judicial branch of the state government. The purpose is very simple of this bill. The State Bar needs clear rules. The Alabama State Bar is unique in that it is the only agency that falls under the supervision of all 3 branches of government. The enabling statute from 1923 states in numerous places that the bar is under the supervision or upon the approval of the Alabama Supreme Court. As such, the bar has always considered itself a judicial agency. Over time, as the branches and their rules have evolved, the state bar appropriation comes under the executive branch, thus triggering their rules. The judicial branch continues to have authority, and the legislative branch has authority also. Sometimes those rules are not consistent, forcing the bar to seek guidance and make choices, and causing delay in operation efficiency and consistency. A lot of this is an accounting issues. Examples of procurement, bidding, and audit process. They need clear and consistent rules. The purpose of this bill is to provide those clear rules. They will follow the rules of the judicial branch. The legislature is losing no authority over the state bar. The governor's office has been working with the state bar and is supportive of this bill for clarity. This bill is to provide clear rules. A further example is like bar exams. Those bar exams are addressed in a very scrutiny and strict manner. Presently, the confusion in the system would have them where they would actually have to bid out the bar exams, and that's something that's totally unacceptable as you're talking about your lawyers and their standards. So that's what the bill does. Are there any questions from anyone? If there are not, then I'll move for final passage and just unanimous consent to use the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
32 ayes, 2 nays. House Bill 149 passes. Thanks, Senator Smitherman.
Thank you
Great
very
explanation.
much.
Appreciate
Yes, sir.
it.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
Secretary,
members.
call the next bill.
Page 2 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 78 by Senator Carnley regarding the Board of Examiners of Assisted Living Administrators. BR pending.
Senator Carnley.
Mr. President, request or BIR use the previous roll. No objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 2 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 78 by Senator Carnley regarding the Board of Examiners of Assisted Living.
Senator Carnley.
Mr. President, request final passage using previous roll. No objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Thank you.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 78 passes. Thanks, Senator Carnley.
Thank you, sir.
Secretary called next bill.
On page 3 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 103 by Senator Kelly regarding the Construction Recruitment Institute, BR pending.
Senator Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption of the BR by previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary called the bill.
On page 3 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 103 by Senator Kelly regarding the Construction Recruitment Institute.
Mr. President, I'd like to offer a substitute, please.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the substitute, please.
Substitute for Senate Bill 103 by Senator Kelly.
Mr. President, I move adoption of the substitute. What it does is it takes into place when the original bill was put together, we did not know that it was going to affect some funding, and so what this amendment does is extend out for 2 years and give a chance for that to be worked out before we come back and bring the other bill. So with that, I move for adoption of the sub.
Previous roll.
Previous roll, please.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Kelly, substitutes adopted. All right, Senator Kelly.
Mr. President, I briefly explained that, so I move adoption of the sub.
Final passage?
Final passage as substitute.
All right, use previous roll.
Yes, sir.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
All right, 34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 103 passes. Thanks, Senator Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Secretary called next bill.
Page 3 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 113 by Senator Elliott regarding the Behavior Analyst Licensing Board, BR pending.
Senator Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is another sunset bill. I'd like to move adoption of the BIR using previous roll without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary called the bill.
On page 3 of the calendar, Senate Bill 113 by Senator Elliott regarding the Behavior Analyst Licensing Board.
Mr. President.
Senator Elliott.
I have a substitute.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the substitute.
Substitute for Senate Bill 113 by Senator Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is similar to what we did with the Massage Therapy Board and the Department of Health, and I move adoption of the substitute using previous roll without objection.
You want to use previous roll?
Yes.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Elliott, substitutes adopted. All right, Senator Elliott.
Mr. President, move third reading waived and final passage using previous roll without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 113 passes. Thanks, Senator Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, the Secretary called next bill.
On page 18 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 195 by Senators Smitherman and Coleman regarding estates, BR pending.
Senator Smitherman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for passage of BIR as unanimous consent to use previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
Page 18 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 195 by Senators Smitherman and Coleman regarding property and estates.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill is a AI bill, and it will allow actions that are brought in probate court, and especially in districts that you have concurrent jurisdiction, to be moved to circuit court to be heard. Presently, the actions are heard in probate court, and then you can appeal up to circuit court. But in these jurisdictions where you have concurrent authority, where the probate court can hear it and or the circuit court, this will allow you to make that appeal at the circuit court so that you can actually have a trial, and that trial can be tried by a judge of that level, which is the circuit court, to make a determination in it. So it helps you move faster through the process, and it helps eliminate a necessary step in some cases. If there are any questions for anyone? If not, then I'll move for final passage and ask unanimous consent to use the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 195 passes. Thanks, Senator Smitherman.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, members.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 10 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 39 by Senator Gavan regarding the Committee on Reapportionment. BR pending.
Senator Gavan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move the BIR using previous row without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 10 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 39 by Senator Gavan regarding the Reapportionment Committee.
Senator Gavan.
Mr. President, I would move for final passage using previous row without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 39 passes. Thank you, Senator Gavan.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 10 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 40 by Senators Gavan and others regarding the Contract Review Committee. BR pending.
Mr. President, I would move the BIR using previous row without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 10 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 40 by Senator Gavan and others regarding the Contract Review Committee.
Senator Gavan.
Mr. President, what this bill does is it allows the Contract Review Committee to, in addition to the powers it has currently, it would enable the committee to have a recommendation that the governor not sign a contract. We cannot tell the governor under separation of power to not sign one, but we can let the governor know the will of least of that, maybe not the whole body, but at least that council or committee that they recommend that a contract not be signed. That's all the bill does.
Mr. President.
Senator Singleton.
So currently, under the powers of the contract review, any member can object to a contract. We'll hold it up for how many? 45 days?
45 days, yes, sir.
So 45, and after that 45 days, you're saying that if the committee is saying it's still a bad contract, then we want to be able to do a combined letter and do a recommendation to the governor to say, don't sign that contract.
Correct. Yes. If you look at the actual language on it in Section D, it says the committee shall hold a hearing to review and comment where necessary on any contract or letter of intent to contract. And then we've added in, including a recommendation that the governor not sign a contract within a reasonable time not to exceed 45 days. So we still can't stop the governor, the executive, from signing something.
But the 45-day holdup does not have to trigger this advisory opinion.
No.
That's what I'm saying. The 45-day doesn't have to trigger that. I got you.
Yeah. The intention was not to change any existing powers or mechanism. It's just purely to add a commentary from the legislature, if you will.
Okay. No problem.
All right.
Mr. President.
Senator Roberts.
I've had the privilege to chair a contract the last quad here, and this would be a tool that I think would be very useful. So I want to compliment Senator Gavan bringing this. I co-sponsored along with others, and most grateful for this, sir.
All right, thank you, Senator Roberts. All right, Senator Gavan.
If there's no further, I don't know if Senator Smitherman has a question.
You have a question on this?
Looking at two different things.
I know. I do have a question, And it's probably gonna, if it was challenged, my question would probably be challenged on germaneness. And okay, so then that gives me two options. One, to accept the challenge on germaneness and cease talking about it, or talk about something that's germane and really I don't want, that ain't why I'm up here.
Go ahead and ask your question. Yeah, just ask your
Can
question.
I ask my question?
Yeah.
I don't want to be delaying because I got to be conformative. You know, to see what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. What's the difference? And I know we talking about contract review, okay? I know the bill is. But we just passed the first bill. What's the difference in that appointment to the reapportionment committee? That's what is it
Nothing
now?
about contract review appointment.
I know, but see, that's why I know we on
You
contract.
want to go back to the last
now you see
one?
what I just said.
So the
yeah.
last, okay, I got you. We'll cover that. So the previous one is and we've already passed one like this on Uniform Law Commission. This just goes into reapportionment. Is the lieutenant governor makes the Senate appointments, but the speaker makes the House appointments.
What is it now prior to passing this bill? Who makes the appointment?
All right, the speaker makes the House appointments and the lieutenant governor makes the Senate appointments.
But now you're saying the pro tem.
Now it'll be the pro tem.
Okay. All right. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
I don't have no more questions. That's it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Now I understand the germane part. I thought you wanted to filibuster and just talk about something
I don't
else.
want to filibuster at all. Let's clear that up. I'm not here for no purpose of filibuster.
Poor next lieutenant governor,
Yeah,
taking
I
all that
appreciate
power
both of
away.
y'all up there on the desk was kind of being sensitive enough to let that be addressed by him. Thank y'all. The desk.
Appreciate it.
Chair of the Senate, Mr. Lieutenant Governor, thank y'all very much, and thank you too.
All right, now I think we're ready for final passage.
So
What
this
was-
time, Mr. President, I'll move final passage using previous rule without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods. 34 ayes, 0 nays.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 40 passes. Thank you, Senator Gavan. Secretary, call next bill.
On page 11 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 86 by Senator Carnley regarding surety bonds and motor fuel assessments. BR pending.
Senator Carnley.
Mr. President, request BIR using previous rule, no objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods. 34 ayes, 0 nays.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 11 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 86 by Senator Carnley regarding surety bonds and motor fuel assessments.
Senator Carnley.
Mr. President, request final passage using previous rule, no objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 86 passes. Thanks, Senator Carnley.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 18 of the calendar, House Bill number 117 by Representative Hill regarding County Commission procurement. BR pending.
Mr. President.
Senator Bell.
Motion to adopt BIR, previous rule. No objections.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton.
Oh, go ahead.
Mr. Woods. 34 ayes, 0 nays.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 18 of the calendar, House Bill number 117 by Representative Hill regarding County Commission procurement.
Senator Bell.
Mr. President, this bill would allow county commissions to consider whether a procurement or purchasing program provides administrative savings in addition to cost savings, and it also allows county to designate some other individual to manage the procurement and purchasing programs. No objections. I'd like to adopt previous rule.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Woods.
All right, 34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 117 passes. Thanks, Senator Bell. Secretary, call next bill on the calendar.
On page 26 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 230 by Senator Gavan regarding campaign contributions. BR pending.
All right, Senator Gavan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move the BR using previous role without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 26 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 230 by Senator Gavan regarding campaign contributions.
Senator Gavan.
Mr. President, I have an amendment.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the amendment.
Amendment to Senate Bill 230 by Senator Gavan. Replace line 31 on page 2 with the following.
So with this, Mr. President, with this came up in committee that it allows for reimbursement to the state, but it could be the county or municipality. So I would move adoption of the amendment using previous role without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Gavan, amendment's adopted. All right, Senator Gavan.
You know, we've had some situations, certainly in the state of Minnesota recently, or not too long ago, with politicians being attacked. And what this would do is simply allow campaign contributions to be used for security measures. If there's no questions, I would move for final passage using previous role.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Woods.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 230 passes. Thanks, Senator Gavan. All right, now move on to House messages.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 67 by Representative Keel and others regarding elections is referred to the Committee on County and Municipal Government. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 7 by Representative Lomax and others regarding crimes and offenses is referred to the Judiciary Committee. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 188 by Representative Baker regarding terrorist threats is referred to the Judiciary Committee. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 159 by Representative Bolton regarding retirement benefits is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation General Fund. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 35 by Representative Bolton regarding motor vehicles is referred to the Committee on Veterans and Military Affairs. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 130 by Representative Hill regarding the teachers' retirement system is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation General Fund. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 168 by Representative Keel regarding crimes and offenses is referred to the Committee on Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 166 by Representative Keel regarding driver's licenses is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation General Fund. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 292 by Representatives Ream and others regarding motor vehicle registration is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation General Fund. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 274 by Representative Simpson regarding crimes and offenses is referred to the Committee on Veterans and Military Affairs. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 33 by Representative Bolton regarding driver's licenses is referred to the Committee on Veterans and Military Affairs. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 267 by Representative Sells regarding the State Forestry Commission is referred to the Committee on Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 287 by Representative Bedsole and others regarding the legislature is referred to the Committee on Veterans and Military Affairs. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 355 by Representative Lee and others regarding Houston County is referred to the Committee on Local Legislation with notice and proof. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 356 by Representative Lee and others regarding Houston County with notice and proof is referred to the Committee on Local Legislation. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate without engrossment. House Bill number 289 by Representatives Albright and others regarding vital statistics is referred to the Health Care Committee. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 165 by Representative Garrett regarding higher education is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation Education. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 192 by Representative Faulkner regarding criminal law is referred to the Judiciary Committee. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 178 by Representative Garrett regarding public education is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation Education. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 254 by Representative Stringer and others regarding vessels is referred to the Judiciary Committee. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, The House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 255 by Representative Bedsole and others regarding the Alabama Crime Victims Compensation Commission is referred to the Committee on Finance and Taxation General Fund. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk. Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has originated and passed the following engrossed House bill and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Bill number 37 by Representative Ingram regarding crimes and offenses is referred to the Judiciary Committee. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
All right, that concludes House messages. Got an announcement from Senator Figurs. If everyone could listen up, please. Next Thursday, it's going to be AKA Day at the Capitol. A reminder to please wear pink and green. So, Mr. Pro Tem, look forward to seeing your best pink shirt.
Or pink or green.
Or green, pink or green.
Either
Yes.
one.
Thank you for those options, Senator Figurs. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the wonderful day. Part of this is that the process has happened today. Both sides got up here. We worked things out through particular bills. Senator Chambliss, very proud of you for everything that you've gone through and truly the last 3 years to get it to the point where we're able to pass it and made it on both sides, so congratulations. Senator Weaver, great, unbelievable job and all you've had to go through and how you've communicated all the way through up and down the hallway. I just want to say thank you for your leadership on that as well. And ladies and gentlemen, there's another group that we're all on different committees, but there's another group that's worked hard and we finalized part of it today, and that is the Sunset Committee. I want to say thank you to Chairman Keith Kelly for all that you've done and all putting all this together. Thank you. And the Sunset Committee, Senator Linda Coleman Madison, Senator Sam Gavan, Senator Chris Elliott, Senator Josh Carnley, and Senator Rob Stewart. Thank you all for your time and putting everything you had to get these bills out on the 10th day, which today is the 10th day, and we accomplished our goal. Congratulations, and thank you for doing your job for the Alabama State Senate. We appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much. Having said that, I hope everyone is safe and they have a good weekend. We are going to have a chairman's meetings upstairs on adjournment. And one thing I want to leave to you just to make you think. Until we see each other again, ask yourself this question. Do you see God's hand in your work every day? Yes or no? So having said that, we'll make a motion to adjourn until 2 p.m. on February 10th, Mr. President.
All right, heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned.
Thank you.